Hey, and welcome back everyone. I hope you guys are healthy and doing well. Today, I wanted to do a little bit of a different fragrance related video, as I've been doing fragrance swaps or purchasing small decants of perfumes that I would potentially like to get in the future for a heck of a long time. I thought today, while swapping with a dear friend of mine, I'm going to share like a quick fire first impressions of the fragrances that I received from my friend Martin, by the way. I hope you're watching. Hi, you better be. Just give you guys a first impression of every single one that I received. These fragrances are for women, men, as well as unisex fragrances. So I hope you guys are interested in my little fragrance opening, or as I called, fragrance fest. And without further ado, let's get this party started. I'm going to go completely randomly about these. So the first fragrance that Martin has chosen for me is by DKNY. It's called Chaos. It's a unisex, aromatic, spicy, woody fragrance that starts out really cold and alcohol-y on my skin, which is what I didn't like at all. Yet it dries down in a slightly soapy and clean manner, however, still leaning on the definitive masculine side. So I would not wear it on me personally, yet it kind of reminds me of a perfume that one of my cousins used to wear obsessively during the spring and summertime. It's like a watered down version of this. So it's perfect for spring and summer. It has this cologne vibe to it as well, yet I don't like it on me, and I do see it on like a younger crowd, younger man. So this was DKNY Chaos. Next is Guerlain EDT. Now this one is immediately overwhelming and nauseating to my nose. It's a vintage lavender men's fragrance that goes from super fresh, spicy, citrusy to vintage fresh lavender in a really herbaceous base. The worst of it all is that there's a retirement home fragrance lingering in the background that I just can't get past. I really don't like it. Other than purchasing it from my grandpa, I would never ever gift it to somebody that is younger than 80 probably. I don't like it whatsoever. No. So this was EDT by Guerlain. Roaring Redcliff by Penhaligon's. I sprayed it on and immediately thought to myself, Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. This is a sweet and spiced tobacco, very reminiscent. I'd almost say this is a very close dupe to Tobacco Vanille. It's not boozy though, although there's rum listed in the notes. I, however, smell the honey beautifully inside of this. It's a great composition, yet way too close to Tobacco Vanille, and since I already own that, I would not consider this as a full-size bottle in my collection. So this was Penhaligon's Roaring Redcliff. Next, Cherryol Royal White. Fresh, citrusy, slightly aromatic. I personally only smell vetiver, grapefruit, and oak moss in here. I don't get any rhubarb, so I don't get any tartness or fruitiness from this, or like a slight sour smell whatsoever. This is a straight up citrusy, fresh cologne style type of fragrance. The rose in here is really unassuming and vague and only shows itself at the very end of the dry down after like 20 minutes. But I really enjoyed this. I would love to smell this on a man actually. So this is Cherryol Royal White. Next, YSL Noble Leather. I need this in my life. Oh my god. This is the sexiest, smoothest, softest, and most noble leather fragrance I have ever smelled. It's too good to be true. It's like room filling. It has so much body and it's voluptuous. Great projection and longevity, let me tell you. You only need one spritz and you're good to go. This is one of the best leather fragrances I have ever smelled. And you know what? This one reminds me of one of my all-time favorite fragranced candles that I always used to get during the fall time from DW Home. It's called Warm Tobacco Pipe. Noble Leather smells just like it, and I was hunting for a fragrance like this forever. I crave it, I cannot get enough of it, and I definitely have to get the full size. Knowing this one is already discontinued and quite the rarity on the market, I have to hunt it down, definitely. I cannot live without this anymore. This is the best leather-centric fragrance I have ever smelled. So this is YSL Noble Leather. Next is Frank Olivier Amber. This is a really nice oriental deep fragrance for men. And as far as I know, it's quite affordable as well. I don't see this on a woman whatsoever. It's a definitive male fragrance, as it's quite woody, balsamic, very unsweet, yet smooth. I like the blend of this quite a lot. It's very balanced, but I don't smell any amber in here whatsoever. I mostly get cedar, and that's it. It's quite linear on my skin too, but I like it quite a lot, and I would definitely recommend it for, let's say, a 30 plus male. It would definitely smell great on them. So this was Frank Olivier Amber. Moving swiftly along to the man. This is Roja Redcliff Pour Homme. I'm quite particularly fond of this house altogether. I basically love almost every single one of Roja's creations. I think they are out of this world, and even quite the experience to even have the pleasure to smell them, as he's quite strategic about where he sells his fragrances, and I do appreciate that. However, I was not too fond of Redcliff Pour Homme, to be honest. It is a nice, lovely, fresh chypre style fragrance. It smells quite aromatic, warm, spicy, and woodsy, yet it reminds me a lot of other quite generic Old Spice type of fragrances. This one doesn't smell special to me, and in order to carve out quite a penny for Roja, it has to be outstanding. So Redcliff Pour Homme wasn't for me, and I don't think that I would even purchase it for a significant other. But I love this house. This was Roja Redcliff. Next is a fragrance that I requested, and it's by the house of Al Haramain, and it's called Floral Sculpture. As I already own one of their perfume oils, I really wanted to finally get one of the eau de parfums, and this one was a great choice. It ticks all of my boxes basically, especially for like a spring summer fragrance at least. It's a dominant floral fragrance. I mostly smell fresh pink roses with a slight green vibe to it. Not like grassy green, but just like in a being outside fresh green type of way. It's not a heavy fragrance, it's quite light, really pleasant, feminine, easy to wear on a day-to-day basis. I actually really like this one, and I'm kind of considering purchasing it full size. So this was the house of Al Haramain Floral Sculpture. This is a rarity, and I can hardly contain my excitement over the fact that I can finally call this my own and have this in my grubby little hands, as it's one of the most thought after and rarest discontinued fragrances that are on the market, I feel like. If you happen to love Tom Ford Plum Japonais, you would almost want to sell your liver for this, as it's ridiculously beautiful. It's like this rich, deep, sweet, fruity, plummy, vanilla-y, woodsy type of fragrance. It has this distinct ambergris note that all of Bond No. 9 fragrances carry. It's the love of my life, basically. So yeah, this was Bond No. 9, Andy Warhol. Next, this is by the house of Dubois Fragrances, and it's called Fatal Vanilla. It's a dupe for Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. In case you didn't know, Dubois Fragrances produce one of the best, most excellent dupes for niche houses. It's uncanny sometimes how close they get to the original fragrances. So these are usually the ones that I like to go for when I don't want to splurge on Tom Ford or other high-end fragrance houses. Fatal Vanilla is gorgeous. It ticks all of my boxes basically. As you know, I'm a vanilla fanatic. I love anything that contains vanilla, caramel, almonds, toffee, and this one does. However, with the specialty cherry on top, that it has this coffee note lingering in the back, which kind of reminds me of by Kilian Black Phantom. It's kind of in the same ballpark. So if you like Black Phantom, you would definitely enjoy Fatal Vanilla by Dubois Fragrances. I am so going to get the full size of this. I love it and highly recommend this one as well. It has a great projection and longevity compared to a lot of high-end houses for sure. So yeah, Dubois Fatal Vanilla. Latifa Oud Mood. I mean, I already own their Rakba fragrance and I'm obsessed with it, so I had relatively high expectations for Oud Mood, to be honest, and this one was love upon first sniff. This is a really beautiful, thick, deep, very sweet and opulent gourmand that contains caramel, amber, oud, vanilla, and patchouli in the dry down. It is absolutely beautiful. A great sillage. Definitely people are going to smell you when you wear this. And also a great longevity. I love this. It's quite the affordable house as well. And so far, I can highly recommend Latifa Oud Mood. And this one is by the house of Mancera called Amber Fever. Yet another one of those candidates where I cannot detect any amber whatsoever. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my nose, but I mostly smell a heavily boozy, sweet, and slightly resinous fragrance. I mostly detect tonka, whiskey, some florals, musk in here. I don't smell anything else, to be honest. And it never loses this sweety, boozy aspect to it throughout the entire development of the fragrance. It's kind of uncommon, actually. It's not bad by any means. It's just not for me personally. So this was Mancera Amber Fever. Finishing off, bold and luxurious. I cannot believe that I finally have a sample of Fragrance Dubois in my hands. I've been hunting and researching this brand for quite some time. Their entire communication speaks to me a lot. This is a decant of Oud Vert, and I gotta say, the entire brand exudes quality, craftsmanship, art. Everything they do is quite strategically mixed and blended. Their communication is very strategic, and it's really, really hard to come by this brand, to be honest. So Oud Vert is probably the first citrusy fragrance that I would consider to like. I usually don't prefer fresh, lemony, citrusy fragrances whatsoever. I'm a gourmand, powdery fragrance type of girl through and through. This is the first one that I can finally respect and love to wear. This is a definitive unisex fragrance that immediately hits you with this strong, fresh bergamot, juicy ginger, this citrusy sweetness on a bed of cardamom. It smells slightly aromatic and spicy, yet it's so smooth, so very well blended. It's not screechy in your face like a zingy ginger or a zingy lemon. It's simply excellent. So this was Fragrance Dubois Oud Vert. I really tried my best to describe them as best as possible, so I really hope this video was informative and helpful for you guys. If it was, please give it a thumbs up so I know, and otherwise, I will see you guys very soon. Bye!